Welcome to the Yale Smart Lock Installation Guide. We'll show you how to install your new smart lock. In your box, you will find an exterior keypad, interior lock, strike plate, key, adjustable deadbolt, manual, reset pin, mounting plate, AA batteries, 4 types of screws, and door sense with accessories. To install your smart lock, you will need a Phillips head screwdriver and the door checker found in your manual. You might also need a tape measure, drill, marking template found in your manual, pencil, wood mortise chisel, utility knife, and level. During installation, it's important to have your door open so you can easily access both sides of the door. If you still have your deadbolt on your door, please remove it. You can also reference page 10 in your manual. Also, we recommend keeping your existing lock until your installation is complete and working. Now that your lock is off, let's look at the exposed hole so we can measure each aspect of your door and frame. For this part, grab your printed manual. Let's take pages 5 through 8 and tear along the dotted lines so we're all prepped. Also, grab paper and pen so you can write down your measurements. You will need them later for reference. Let's make sure your door is a match. This checking will be in 2 parts. Door checker part 1. We are going to measure the clearance, door thickness, and backset. If your door is not a match, in some cases, we can make adjustments later. If you have a new door with no holes, please proceed to Make or Adjust Holes section found at the end of this video. You can also reference page 12 in your manual. To see if you're a match, you need a 2-inch minimum distance between the top of the doorknob and the center of the deadbolt hole. Let's use the corresponding letters on the ruler to see. If the distance is greater than A, you can proceed. If it's less than A, your door does not match. To measure your door's thickness, check to see if your door measures B, C, or D. If you measure between B and D, you're a match. If you are less than B or greater than D, your door thickness is not a match. Let's stop here so you can grab the right screws based on this measurement. If you measured B to C, use the black, medium screws provided. If you measured C to D, you will use the silver, longest screws. Let's measure the backset, which is the distance from the center of the hole to the end of the door. If it equals E or F, you are good to go. Door checker part 2. In this part, we are going to measure the face bore, edge bore, and strike pocket. First, let's measure the face bore. If the distance is equal to G or H, you are good. If it's less than G, you are going to have to adjust the diameter to G or H. Instructions on this are available at the end of installation video in the section called Make or Adjust Holes. If your bore is greater than H, your door is not a match. Now let's go to the side of the door and measure the door, edge bore, and frame strike pocket. The minimum door edge bore diameter is 1 inch. The minimum strike pocket depth and diameter is 1 inch. If it equals I, you are good. If it's less than I, you will need to make an adjustment. Instructions on this are available at the end of installation video in the section called Make or Adjust Holes. Otherwise, let's continue. Install deadbolt latch. The correct deadbolt length is based on the backset. If you measured E, you are good to go. If you measured F, twist the neck by holding the body stable. For the deadbolt latch, you will need 2 screws and 2 more for the strike plate. You can also use security screws. Make sure the up arrow on the deadbolt is facing upwards. Please note, if the deadbolt latch is extended, use a small flathead screwdriver to rotate slot until the deadbolt latch is retracted. You can tighten screws with a screwdriver to secure the strike plate and deadbolt latch. Make sure the strike plate and deadbolt latch are aligned. Now, we're ready to install the exterior keypad. Continue to have your door open. Do not close until you're all done today. Also, let's go back to your face bore measurements. If you had less than H, 2 1/8 inches, remove the plastic adapter by applying pressure to the tabs on its top and bottom and pulling it off the body of the exterior keypad. Make sure your deadbolt latch is in an unlocked position. Refer to Step 2.4, page 13, for guidance on how to retract it if needed. Make sure the tail piece is in a horizontal position. Guide the wire cable under the deadbolt and slide the tail piece through the deadbolt latch slot. Slide the keypad in place, making sure it's on the exterior part of your door. Install mounting plate. Refer to measurements B, C, and D on the door checker, page 5, to select the correct screws. If you measured B, 1 3/8 inches to 1 3/4 inches door thickness, use the 2 black screws. If you measured C, 1 3/4 inches to 2 1/4 inches door thickness, use the 2 silver screws. First, let's route the wire cable into the designated slot in the mounting plate. Slide the tail piece through the designated slot in the mounting plate. Place the 2 screws through the mounting plate. Tighten the screws with a screwdriver to secure the mounting plate. As you tighten the screws, make sure the wire cable is not pinched and the mounting plate and exterior keypad are straight. Now, we need to attach the wire cable to the interior lock. First, remove battery cover by pinching the sides and pulling it off the body of the interior lock. Make sure the side of the cable end with the ridges and the marked lines faces outward. Push the cable into the designated slot until you hear a click. Then, tuck the cable under the plastic tab to keep it secure and prevent any pinching when mounting. Let's install the interior lock. You're so close! Make sure the tailpiece slot is in the horizontal position. Use the thumb turn to adjust if needed. Ensure that the wire cable is not pinched to prevent it from reducing your lock's battery life. Slide the tailpiece through the designated slot on the back of the thumb turn. Press the lock against the mounting plate, adjusting its position until it clicks into place and the bottom of the lock is held in place. Tighten the 1 pre-installed screw. When fully tightened, the lock should be flush to the door. Before proceeding, let's check your work. If the deadbolt latch does not lock or unlock with the key from the outside, or the thumb turn from the inside, here are 2 ways to troubleshoot the problem. Ensure that the deadbolt latch is centered in the face borehole. Ensure that the tailpiece is positioned horizontally and inserted through deadbolt latch slot into the thumb turn slot. Let's install your batteries. Before you begin, make sure the deadbolt latch is unlocked. Install 4 AA batteries. Once batteries are inserted, the entire keypad will light. Once this happens, the lock is in pairing mode. Scan this QR code or click the link in the video description for further instructions on setting up the lock. Replace the battery cover. Congrats! Your lock is installed. Installing DoorSense. DoorSense is a magnetic sensor installed on your door frame that can keep track of when the door is opened and closed. Before installing DoorSense, confirm it is supported by the app the lock will be set up in. Scan this QR code or click the link in the video description for more information. If DoorSense is supported, it should only be installed and set up after your lock has been configured in the app. The following instructions will walk through DoorSense installation. For calibration instructions, please refer to the app the lock is set up in. There are 2 installation options: surface mount and flush mount. Let's review how to install the DoorSense surface mount. If you prefer the flush mount, please proceed past these steps. Start by removing one side of the adhesive backing and attaching it to the back of the DoorSense, ensuring it aligns with the edges and screw holes. Next, peel off the remaining adhesive backing. Position the device within 1.5 inches from the edge of your door frame for optimal performance. If your door frame has curved or angled trim, DoorSense will still function as long as it stays within this range. Align the center of the DoorSense with the Yale logo on the battery cover. Then, press it firmly onto the door frame. It is recommended to tighten the pre-installed screws after your lock is calibrated to ensure you are able to retrieve accurate door state readings before modifying your frame. And that's it! DoorSense is now installed. To calibrate DoorSense, navigate to the app the lock is set up in for further instructions. If installing the DoorSense flush mount, start by removing the DoorSense cover and pushing the magnet out of the housing. Next, peel off the blue backing to expose the adhesive on the magnet cap. Press the magnet onto the cap, making sure the notches interlock securely. Now, determine the correct mounting location on the door frame. The center of the DoorSense should be positioned 2 inches from the center of the strike plate, aligning with the logo on the lock's battery cover. Mark a hole that is horizontally centered on the door frame and has a 5/8 inch diameter. Use a 5/8 inch drill bit. It may be helpful to attach tape to your drill bit to mark the proper depth of hole to drill. DoorSense requires a 1/2 inch deep hole, but it may help to use the assembled DoorSense as a guide. Then, drill a hole 1/2 inch deep at the marked spot. Insert the DoorSense into the hole. If it's too snug, use a piece of scrap wood and gently tap it in with a hammer or mallet. If it's too loose, wrap some tape around it to ensure a secure fit. And that's it! DoorSense is now installed. To calibrate DoorSense, navigate to the app the lock is set up in for further instructions. Now, let's go over how to use your lock after setup is completed in the app. To unlock your door, enter your entry code and press the check button. When you want to lock your door, press the Yale logo. It's that simple. Sometimes you might need to do a factory reset. If you have set up your lock with Yale Access app or a Matter-enabled app, you should reset the lock in the app with which the lock is set up. Go to your lock's settings and choose Factory Reset. To manually reset your lock, first remove the battery cover and remove one battery. Then, insert a reset pin into the designated reset hole. Press and hold the reset button while reinserting the battery. Keep holding the button for 5 more seconds, then remove the reset pin. Your lock is now reset to factory defaults and ready to be set up again. Thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, please visit support.shopyalehome.com. Here is the section where you can make or adjust holes. Grab the marking templates on pages 7 and 8 from your manual and choose which face bore size you want to use. H, 2 1/8 inches, or G, 1 1/2 inches. Now, which template to use? Let's look at your measurements. Here's a quick recap. For face bore in checker part 2, if you measured G, use the 1 1/2 inch face bore on page 8. If you measured H, use the 2 1/8 inch face bore on page 7. Tape the measurement page to your door as your guide. If your door thickness was C, 1 3/4 inches, use the solid lines as your guide. If your door thickness was B, 1 3/8 inches, use the dotted lines. If your back set was F, 2 3/4 inches, use the solid lines. If your back set was E, 2 3/8 inches, use the dotted lines. On the door frame, align the center of the strike plate with the center of the edge bore. Trace the strike plate, then chisel to the depth of the strike plate so it sits flush with your door frame. Drill the 1 inch diameter strike pocket with a minimum depth of 1 inch. Once your door is prepped correctly, please return back to the Install Deadbolt latch section. Thank you.